In the past, we have talked about a Hollywood movie structure, something I call a Hollywood movie structure, with 8 beats. Can you remember those 8 beats? First was a character, second was a problem, third was a decision, then a false answer, a failure, enlightenment, an answer, and meaning. And I want to suggest that although we have looked at this passage as an example of procedure, it also seems to be a Hollywood movie kind of story. And again, these pictures are not real. They are here to help you think. When I see good writers, when I read what they have put down, it seems to me they use these structures, and sometimes they use these structures together in highly effective ways. Just like Benjamin Franklin, I think this is a great example of procedural writing. I think it's also a strong example of Hollywood movie stories, especially when you include these red parts. And here's what I want to suggest to you, because I have the book, so I have a little more information. So, to begin with, a Hollywood movie has a character, or maybe characters. And Benjamin Franklin writes, "There was another bookish lad in the town, John Collins by name, with whom I was intimately acquainted. We sometimes disputed." Basically, Benjamin Franklin had a friend, and they discussed things. They wrote things to each other in discussion, in argument. So we have some characters, maybe some characters we like. In the next paragraph, we get our problem. Benjamin Franklin had a father who observed that, though I, Franklin, had the advantage in correct spelling and pointing, I fell far short in elegance of expression, in method and perspicuity. I fell far short. I was much lower in the elegance of my writing, in the method of my writing, and in the clearness of my writing. So now there's a problem. His father, Franklin's father, has pointed out he's actually not as good as his friend at writing. That sucks. So he makes a decision, and his decision is to imitate excellent writing so that he can become a better writer. And the story leads into the spectator What is the false answer? The false answer is that he uses these keywords, and he makes some progress. That's why it's a false answer. It looks good, but it leads to failure. If you read your handout, the failure is he lacks vocabulary. He lacks enough words to write what he wants to say. So, the enlightenment is to try these other ways, verses and jumbles. And that leads to the final answer, which is that he not only becomes better than his friend at writing, he finally seems to become even better than his teachers, right? Because he has figured out a good way to learn to write. And this answer has a meaning in the last paragraph on your handout, which is that through writing, through spending time doing this, he is moving away from the worldview that his father had, right? On Sundays, his father would go to church, but Benjamin Franklin would be reading. He is starting to imply, he's starting to show that his mind, through this reading and writing, moved away from one worldview, and he became much more broad-minded, which is in fact true of his life. He was able to converse and communicate with people all over the world.